I'm hit. Whoa, hey. Fam, we not starting the show like that.
Wow.
What we not gonna do.
Hit it first.
Yeah, what we not gonna do is that you are not gonna bring your nasty escapades into the session today.
Yes.
All right, that's not what we came for.
Shenanigans.
Why not?
That's
Gonna keep it interesting.
So he's nasty Nas.
Yeah, he's nasty
As you
Nas.
know.
He's nasty Nas.
Just to let you know.
Yeah.
Well, now she, her whole joint changed.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, because your introduction was kind of crazy. You talking about something you hit it like
hit it
that?
first.
Whoa, relax, relax.
All right. Since he wants to be first at everything, catching everything out here, why don't you catch this intro? Tell them you go first.
No, I can't do what Brandon does. I don't even have it memorized.
No?
Nah, not at all.
Oh, come on.
Oh my God.
Not at all. I'm sorry.
Nobody wants to take. Yeah, no one wants to take a stab at this. No.
I already did
Hey
it.
everyone, this is Grassroots
go.
Podcast. You listen
you.
to the latest, the greatest.
Hey.
We have special guests in here.
Talk
you all
your
know,
shit.
hit that notification
shit.
button. What it do?
Yeah.
Also subscribe. Make sure you hit the subscription button. We are on SoundCloud, Google Play, Audio Mac, YouTube, iTunes, everywhere. And on top of that, we also have a newsletter. So make sure you go into the description and sign up because we will be dropping exclusive content and information in that because we have a surprise coming up soon. Can't tell you what it is. Sign up and you'll know. My name is Erin Ashley Simon.
I'm Brandon Killabh Hall.
I'm the Black Tommy Pickles.
Wait, how do we know? Take the hat off.
So, I have it's shining today.
You are
Shine.
definitely the Black Tommy Pickles.
Hey, Sean, I got no
Shiner.
Yo, a couple of hours ago, this shit was looking crazy.
Yo.
Hairline was back here. I let my joint grow out.
On the low though, when I
crazy.
walked in the room, I was like, "Yo, nigga, Nas kind of looking kind of alright. Like, why he got a good shave though?"
Yeah, I'm trying to be like you. I'm trying to catch up, man.
Oh, your beard's got to connect.
And
All right.
of course, our favorite.
I'm Wilson.
And lastly, we have a special guest.
Special
You already heard her
guest.
talk. She already came in
Let's
here.
go.
She's definitely a New Yorker.
Yes.
There you go. New Yorican. Because
That's kinda fire.
I'm Puerto Rican too. And you always will hear us come in.
I know.
Can I
We-
be like
we
a
never can
black
be quiet.
Jersey or
No.
something?
No.
It's kind of
Nobody
impossible.
cares
It's
about
kind of
Jersey. We got
impossible.
capital.
But let's have her introduce herself.
My name is Kitty Cat. No, I'm just kidding. I'm Kim. What's up?
How many of you got that Wedding Crashers reference?
Wait.
How many of you got that Wedding
Let me be
Crashers?
clear. That is one of my favorite movies. We just bonded. We just bonded just that quickly.
Talking about she already got the bonding points
Yeah.
with the shirt.
I was in the bathroom though.
Oh, see, yeah, you losing.
Yeah, and that shirt is fire.
Thank you.
But that is one of my favorite movies. And look at you knowing.
too.
Look at you knowing.
The reference.
Nas knows that
Nas
shit.
is like
right.
Nas has like the weirdest references. Like he'll
Yeah.
pull out a reference from like a 1975 movie, and he'll be like, "Y'all don't know that? Yeah, because I wasn't born then. What you talking about?"
Yo,
Like,
what
yo,
you
a
know?
lot
You
of
still don't know how old he
Nothing.
is.
yeah. He's the oldest out of all of us.
Now, why did you do that? Why did you do that?
It's the truth.
Yeah, he is the oldest guy.
And this guy are definitely older than you.
That has not
Put
been
him
proven.
out on Front Street right now.
It hasn't been proven, so it's fine. It's all right.
Because you old.
Yeah,
you know,
embrace your
that's-
age. Damn, it's good. It's good.
All right, that's what we doing today?
Yeah.
I'm here for the shits today. Full-fledged.
Oh,
Full-fledged shits today.
All right. So I actually want to start off with this topic. I know sometimes we start off with people's music and stuff like that, but you know what? I don't feel like doing that today.
Okay.
I actually want to start off of your fandom for cartoons because you
Oh,
were going in
yes.
with Kyle over here,
Yeah.
even knowing the names of certain characters on your shirt.
I know. No, I'm a huge cartoon head. I love them. You know what? As a kid, I think I really just believed I was one. So for the longest, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was like, no, I'm a princess. Like that's it. It ends here, and I'm a part of this
I'm a
cartoon. Like
princess.
that's it. So like I grew up just loving them. I don't know. They always made me feel good. So. Yeah, I mean, I love cartoons. I don't watch them anymore, though. We had way better ones than
Yeah,
now.
word.
Facts.
So, like,
What
I don't know.
are
I'm not
good
really into any
cartoons?
right
Rick
now.
and Morty, come on, man.
Oh yeah, Rick and Morty's cool. I like Bob's Burger.
I was like, yo, all I saw
Speaking
was
of-
eat, zip down. I'm like,
Okay.
whoa, what kind of show is happening right now?
Those are all adult joints.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Listen, show and tell.
That's
I
for
don't show
adults, though.
for
That's not
free.
for kids.
Yo, y'all didn't get the memo?
I
Only
know.
the ladies?
I see
Only
it.
the
I see
ladies.
it.
We showed up in true
Yes,
like fandom
female
shirts.
true
What kind of shirt you got on?
I just picked this up.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to front for you. I picked this up on
You
the way
walked here
here.
shirtless and picked it up on the way.
Yes, I just had a Rick and Morty shirt.
Can I get a look at you, Paul?
Yeah, it's an XL, by the way.
Oh,
That's
hey.
an XL.
It's an XL.
It's not.
It's a little
not
tight on the arms.
Hold on, he has a surf or dodge. Do you even surf, bro?
Nope.
You don't surf. You don't swim. Nothing. You
I
just
do swim. Well, kind of.
You don't swim. You trot. You probably
And the
float
deep end or
something.
the short
deep
end?
end.
Are you sure? Can you touch the bottom?
He looks like one of those black guys that can't swim.
Yeah, I'm not rolling.
You're talking.
I'm gonna need proof.
You're talking.
Yeah, I'm gonna need
You're
proof
talking.
too. I'm gonna need proof, yo. I'm
You're
gonna need
talking.
proof. I'm gonna need proof. I want to go back to your statement though about feeling like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Not saying you're a cartoon.
I can be.
But do you feel like as you've gotten older that adulting has restricted you from being a cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I feel like that scene in Step Brothers where he's like, when I was young, I used to want to be a T-Rex, and my parents told me, you're not a fucking T-Rex. And he just like compares life to that, and I related to that scene so much because I had to realize like I'm not a princess on some level, but you know what? In my mind, I still let myself live. So.
Do you feel like that's even more? You feel even more restricted now that you're an artist, you're signed to a label, you're out there. Do you feel like there's a little more restriction in terms of the representation of yourself in the sense of certain things that you like? Because for some people, they may be like, "Oh shit, cartoons? Oh, I like her. I'm gonna be a fan of her." But then, like, it may not fit within what the label wants you to present yourself as.
Yeah, I mean, I think I went through that already in the beginning, and you know, I've come to realize that being an artist actually creates an open path for me to be myself. And that's going to be the people who grow along with me, and my fans are going to love those things about me. So I just find actually more freedom to be kid-like, to own that shit. Because at the end of the day, like, that's who I am. So,
what was that turning point, though? Where was that point where you're like, okay, let me just play along with what is needed to be done until I can get to the point where I'm like, all right, it's about time. I'm about to show my real self.
Yeah, no, you know what it is? I started kind of like just experimenting with my Instagram and whatnot, and I would find that like I got way more engagement with a lot of my fans or my friends on Instagram who were like, why don't you ever show this side of yourself? This is what people love about you. And I was too worried in the beginning about like people not liking me. And then I was like, wait, I'm a likable ass person. Why am I fronting on myself right now? So like, I mean, I think it just got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna be myself. And if you don't rock with me, you don't rock with me. But if you do, great. You know what I mean? I just find that being yourself, people see when you're authentic and when you're not. And at the end of the day, I think it's more important to just be yourself.
In the beginning, did they try to push you in a different direction?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because everybody, you know, when you have too many chefs in the kitchen, like there is so many different views of how people view you and how they think you should look and be. Yeah. And at the end of the day, you start to kind of like lose sight of like, well, what do I think? You know what I mean? What do I want to represent? Who do I want to be? And I think I just got to a point where I was like, I'm not trying to hear anything what everyone else is saying. I got to be me, you know, and that's worked for me, to be honest.
And for pushing, right? Because you talked about how in your career you wanted to unify the Latin side of you as well as, like you said, you're Americanized because you didn't grow up speaking Spanish. Right. You've been learning that. And we're in such like we're in a Latin craze right now when it comes to music in the U.S. Did you ever feel like you were forced to having to put out a single that you spoke only Spanish in, like that being forced? Or was that something that you wanted to do, but it was all about timing and what you thought was necessary or what you were comfortable with putting out at the time?
Yeah, you know, to be honest, I've always wanted to put out a Spanish album. I just didn't see it coming straight out the gate because I really saw myself as more of an Americanized artist because that's part of my upbringing. That's how I was raised. So I think with my songs that were solely in Spanish, I don't think I was almost mentally ready yet to come out with them straight out the gate, even though that was always my intention. You know, I just saw it coming a little bit later in my career. But I mean, at the end of the day, I really believe it. You know, timing's everything, and everything happens for a reason. Definitely. And so if it's meant to happen at that moment, and it did, then I believe that it was meant to happen at that time too.
Does it make it does it make it a little bit harder to take the, I want to have the Americanized side of myself or the English speaking side of myself first in the music? Like, for example, we've seen artists like Becky G, they first pushed her out to do English version songs, but then it didn't quite work for her, so then she went into the Latin side. Are there any obstacles with taking the English versions first versus then going into the Spanish speaking side of the music?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, because at the end of the day, like in my culture, and I know it's like this in a lot of cultures, they're not always accepting of like the Americanized side. So you have to be very careful about how you coming in, because you still got to be authentic to who you are. Like I said, they're very, when you're not born and raised in a certain island or country, you have to prove yourself more in a lot of ways, So, like, I have to work doubly as hard as someone who just speaks and born and raised in all of these places, and it comes very naturally to them, And, like, for me, I think that I've always wanted to remain who Kim is. At the end of the day, I'm never going to lie about that. I don't lie about speaking it, I've always sang in it since I was a little girl. Actually, my mom taught me how to sing in Spanish when I was very young because she wanted me to have that part of my culture, and because I was working as a child. She was like, this is something you have to learn, and she would correct me. And, the language part is funny because my parents both speak English and Spanish, but they only spoke Spanish when they didn't want me and my brothers to know what they were talking about. So
or they didn't want others to know what they were saying.
Exactly.
Yep,
so it was like their secret language, and I used to like look at them and be like, what is mommy and daddy saying? And like eventually, like I picked up on what they were saying. They couldn't do it anymore. I'm like, I know what you're saying, So like I understand a lot of it. It's just I didn't really learn it fluently growing up because all my friends and all my cousins and my grandparents would speak English to me, even though Spanish was some of their first languages. But I think they just babied us as a kid. Yeah. They were like, oh, they're here, so all their friends speak it. So they just spoke English to me. And, now is when I really see like the need for it. And I really wanted to be connected to my culture as I grew older. And so for me, I was like, okay, I'm going to make it my job because I want my kids to learn it. I feel like that gave me a disadvantage in a lot of ways, but at the same time, it's like, who was going to represent us? Yeah. You know what I mean? So everything happens for a reason. It's all a learning lesson and a way to push. Yeah.
Do you think, like, as you're going through your creative process and going through this, do you ever struggle with saying, hey, maybe I want to take another route and start just singing all Spanish music? Because you seem very diversified, but I still feel like there's a need to still kind of please your culture and maybe even your parents and stuff. Do you still struggle with that now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think for me, because there's such a duality with me, I struggle with, like, I want to do this, and now I want to do that, and, like, I want to have a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
But now, hold on, is that your creative itch, or is that really, like, one of those things?
No, it's both. I think it's both. I think it's, like, culturally, I feel responsible for representing both, because I really do connect with both sides of my culture, because, like, I mean, all my family from Puerto Rico, like, I grew up with all of them, and then I just also feel like we don't have... I wanted to have somebody that I could look up to when I was growing up, that looked like me, that I could relate to, that their story was similar. And the only person I could really relate to was J-Lo. Like, she was like the closest thing to, like...
But all Spanish women relate to J-Lo, even when they don't relate to J-Lo.
No, not really. I'm talking about, like, we're from the same town, from Castle Hill. Okay. And she didn't speak a lick of Spanish in the beginning of her career. And when she also played the role of Selena, like, I related to that movie so much, too, heavily again, because when she was a little girl, she was like, I don't want to speak Spanish. I don't really need it. You know what I'm saying? Because she related to her American culture as well, a little bit more as a child, because she grew up in Texas. So all her friends and her brothers and sisters spoke English. So when I saw that, like, I just felt like, wow, that's somebody I could relate to, and that I love their music, and it made me want to learn more about my culture. Gotcha. So I wanted to represent that when I was,
when you were coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not a good person to idolize and want to be like.
What? Who?
J-Lo. I'm saying, like,
not a good person.
No, I said it's not a bad person. I meant to say.
Oh.
Meaning, like,
I was like, let's rephrase that.
No, she's about to get at you.
Listen,
don't talk about J-Lo.
This is
Did you not hear that she's a Puerto Rican?
Yeah, let me be very clear. I stay clear of any. I don't want any problems. Let me be clear. Listen,
don't talk about J-Lo.
But no, I meant Mark Anthony. Yeah, it's only
same block.
And who else can't
Mark
you?
Anthony will get you cut.
Do not trash
and Fat Joe.
Suavemente.
Yeah, you can't talk about Fat Joe.
Don't touch that song.
That's Elvis Crespo.
I love that record. I love Suave Man.
Do not
So
touch that
talk about
song.
Mark Anthony.
Yes.
See how far you get.
Yeah, no. No, but what I'm saying is, that's not a bad person to idolize, right?
Yeah.
Like, she's the classic, I feel like, from rags to riches type
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
story. You know what I'm saying? Seeing her from In Living Color to then blowing up super, super fast to then being a megastar. So, yeah, I'm not mad at you. I think everyone should have people that they should kind of idolize at some point in their lives to try to
She got like
figure out a blueprint.
She like has like $1 million plus insurance on her booty too. So
Yeah.
you know you
Other than
want
took that
you
off.
want a certain
She
level.
does?
Other than
Yeah,
took
she has
that off.
insurance.
You might have
She
to get
took that
one on the
off.
mole.
Well, she definitely.
That's a trademark right there.
My mole, yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
like
thank
you like a new
you.
Cindy Crawford or
Yes.
something like that.
Yes,
Oh, no.
I
Wait,
own her.
isn't Cindy's mole someplace else? Like, it's
Well,
up
yeah, but
here.
still, she's famous.
Yeah.
You know, I got the eyebrow one. Have you seen one?
Sure.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like
hype
that.
about it now.
I like that Selena reference too.
Yeah.
I love Selena.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Love her.
Anything for Selena's.
Look,
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
Anything for Selena's.
she had a body before all these girls. Her body was crazy.
So-
Somebody who knows.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Who knows, man.
I'm gonna
Do
talk
you,
about it.
do you think she doesn't get enough credit though? Honestly, I know.
Selena?
No, not Selena. Well, even Selena, I would say, but I'm really talking about J Lo. Like, honestly, think about it. People still kill her for like the dumbest shit when you think about it.
Like what though? What specify?
Like I saw the one. I saw the trailer with her and Cardi B, and that trailer with the
Hustlers?
the hustler shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I was reading the comments. You know, you just scroll and see.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this shit's probably about to be really, really dope. And all you
not.
see is, oh man, she looks old. She's not moving the same. Oh man, where did her
That's
butt go?
called
I'm just-
haters.
Yeah, I'm just like, fam, yup. Yo, I just hate when people nitpick at certain little things. So my question is, does that happen to you? Like when you just try to go be creative, it could be a post, it could be musically, it could be just even navigating
Spanish
Yeah, like
and they
just
want to
anything.
critique about
Do you
that.
ever?
Absolutely. I mean, there's always people out there waiting to hate on
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
If I went through all my videos and saw like the things people said and like let that get to me, I wouldn't be doing this
Yeah.
anymore. You know,
Well, true.
you just have to learn how to kind of just brush up. Like if you don't have haters, you're doing something wrong.
That's true.
That's what I think. You know, like you everyone. It doesn't matter how big you are, has people out there who do not like them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I
Of
can
course,
relate.
and listen, and one thing you cannot get down on J Lo for is acting, because she is just fire as an
I think she's
actress.
phenomenal.
I think that's
Are
one
you
of her
serious
best
right now?
talents. Yes,
Acting.
yes.
I mean, I don't think singing
okay.
is.
Wait,
Yeah,
are we gonna
I-
have
I'll take her acting
What?
over her singing
I'll
any
take
day.
acting over singing.
Well,
mean-
Yeah,
Any day.
if I got to pick between
Acting
those two.
over singing.
Yeah. Now,
Definitely.
if you throw
Wait, let me
dancing
ask
in
you.
there.
Acting
Let me
or
ask you.
singing? I'm here.
Acting,
Yeah.
dancing, and singing. Which one out of those three do you think she's the best at?
Wait,
Let's
say it
just
again.
do-
I'm sorry.
Dance.
Dancing.
You think she's the best at dancing
Yeah.
over acting?
I do.
Dancing, acting, singing.
I think acting.
I think her performances, like if she could 100%, and this is no shade. Let's say you don't care for her vocally, she could 100% be a voiceover performer where she's only just going off of
The tracks.
the tracks,
Yeah,
and then just
absolutely.
performing. Like she's one of those artists that, regardless of anything,
entertaining.
she's entertaining.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So if I have to choose, I would go over her performance versus her acting. Now, that's
Interesting.
not discrediting her acting.
Okay.
Like there's a few movies where it was believable for me in her role.
Yeah.
Like Enough
Selena
was
was
really
good.
good.
Selena was
Selena
good.
was
That put her
really
on the
good.
map. That put her on the map.
Selena was
Money
good.
Train
Yeah,
was
that
good.
was
Like there's a bunch of
Yes.
movies I can think of. What, you didn't like her Money Train?
Money
like, let's
Train
stop
was
there.
really
Stop
Woody
at Selena.
and Wesley.
She was a great supporting character that caused a conflict between both of them. That was
Well put. Well put.
yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know about that.
It was that.
I have to disagree.
I think she's great. I think she's an incredible actress.
I would say though
That's how I knew her
that
more.
she definitely helped with bringing Latin culture to mainstream, especially
Yes.
here in America.
Yeah.
Selena was starting to do that. When we talk about Latin music crossing over to America, like people talk about the artists now. No, Selena was someone who's effectively doing that and was catching people's attention. Even though the Latin community was her demographic, the rest of America was paying attention.
Yeah.
And so honestly, like I think that whole, I call it the Latin craze that's happening right now because it is. I feel like that would have happened earlier if Selena was still alive.
Absolutely. I mean, but the thing is, it's funny though, because Selena like got more famous after she passed.
Yeah.
Because she was around for a minute, and Americans didn't really know who she was like that. She was winning Grammys and killing it. I don't know. I can't say. I'm a huge fan of her, but I can't say how she would have done had she still been alive.
Yeah.
Do you think she would have been bigger than J-Lo? Or
Yeah.
not?
She was.
I'm just curious.
She was Americanized. I felt like she would have been able to cross over more
Bigger than
effectively.
Yeah,
I definitely think she
Wasn't
would
playing
have.
Selena her breakout role?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Why. That's what I'm saying. That put her on the map.
So it's like the
Has
chicken,
Selena
the
been
chicken of
alive?
the egg,
I don't
right?
know.
Yeah.
And no hating on J-Lo because I love me some J-Lo, but
Me
I
too.
don't know.
Maybe it would have taken longer because she was already like didn't she start to do choreography for people and stuff like that?
She did, but here's my thing why I may give J-Lo the edge, even if she never portrays Selena. I think J-Lo's done an amazing job of transitioning in her career.
Oh, she
like
has.
without
Yeah.
a blueprint,
And in
without
relationships. Let's talk about that, too.
Well, we ain't even get
She
there.
used that to her advantage.
We ain't even get there.
She was like, all right, I'm done with you. Who next?
Yeah, but yo, I was having this conversation with one of my friends, and I think that that's a real thing. I think relationships in the industry are a real thing, and they do help to propel
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Like, I won't be surprised that YG and Kehlani blow the fuck up.
Yeah?
Like 100%, 100%. If you go and just look at the comments and just see people, oh my God, Black Love, oh my God, this is amazing.
But she needs
oh
a
my,
hit song though. She don't got a hit song.
Yo,
Last
but
one
you
was
know,
Ring.
yeah, but you know
But
what it is.
that was Cardi's song.
Yeah, it was Cardi's
Yeah,
song.
I know.
Like
Yeah.
she herself, she has good
Yeah,
music,
that's
but she
true.
doesn't have a hit. YG has a hit already.
True, but even them as a collective, people like that. Everyone
Yeah.
loves Kehlani and everyone loves YG. Or are scared of YG. Pick
Yeah.
your poison. Whatever it is.
YG.
Yeah, whatever it is, you still rock with them. Them as a collective make
Yeah.
things powerful. It's the same thing about like.
You think that's a real relationship? It's manufactured.
I don't know. Well, actually,
You know
let
what?
me. I want
Yeah.
to ask a question.
Yeah, anybody ever approach
I
you
want
for
to ask a
that?
question. Did you ever?
What?
Have you
They
ever
ever try
been
to get
like?
you to-
Have they ever been like, hey, you should like hang out with this guy? It will help elevate. Like, have they ever done that?
You know, listen, I've had
Yes,
people.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Can you say any names?
It was easy.
Yes.
Say it, we'll say
You can
it,
say a
yes.
name?
Oh, she's gonna spill
No.
it. Hold up.
No.
Was it a rapper or
No,
R&B
no,
singer?
no,
If it was
no.
an R&B singer, I
No,
don't
not
know.
anyone. This is the thing. Like they've been like, oh, once you meet this person, you should probably talk to them or something like that. You should date somebody in the industry to kind of get some clout. But I'm not hanging out with these people yet, so I would have to feel it out. The thing about me is like, if I gotta kiss you and shit, like gotta be some sort of realness to this. 'Cause I ain't trying to be open my girl with your bad breath. Like we ain't
Yeah,
doing all that.
yeah.
Like nah. Like I just I don't know. I've had it suggested, but I have not ever done that. If that's what y'all are asking.
So
you're
lit-
Never
considering
dated
it.
anyone for clout yet.
If it's the right situation.
Yes. Keyword.
Yo, the keyword "yet" at the end is the funniest shit yet.
To be continued.
Yeah, word. Take one for the team. Fuck it, I don't blame you.
We shall see.
But what was the other? Where was I going with that? I can't remember because that was a good question. Oh, but long story short, we had this whole big conversation about just doing the strategic type of marketing strategies. Do you foresee yourself trying to stay away from things like that, and not the relationship piece because we've talked about it, but
Yeah.
like for example, like right now, people are going crazy about Cardi B, saying, "Oh, she's retiring, and this is a publicity stunt." You have
mean
people saying
Nicki?
that. I mean, Nicki. Damn, I'm all over the place. Nicki is retiring.
Whoa.
And people kill her just because she's saying, "Hey, I want to go be with my family," but they don't take her at face value just for past stuff like that. Do you think at a certain point in your career, obviously you'll have to deal with that, but what do you think if you had to give advice in that situation? What would it be?
I mean, to each his own. Like,
Yeah.
I think some people don't give a crap about what other people think, and they're going to go live their lives for their family and whoever else they want to live it for. And if they want to just do it for themselves, they're going to do it for themselves. They don't care what people say.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you reach that level of stardom, you're just like, man, fuck it. Like, I'm just going to live my life for myself at this point because I can,
Yeah.
you know? Because people are already talking shit about me anyway.
Yeah.
So I might as well live my life, you know?
You gonna talk?
So,
As is.
you know, like, I mean, if that's what I just hope that she's doing it for her at the end of the day. You know, if
Yeah.
that's what make her happy, then go do that, you know? She's already lived her life, her
Well,
best life.
There's no way she's quitting.
I don't think she is. I think,
I don't
no,
think she
I
is.
agree. I don't think,
Stunt.
I
Yeah,
think it's
I
a
think it's a
publicity stunt, personally. I think she'll be
It's
back.
gotta be.
You know why? Because there's certain people in the industry who cannot just go away for long.
Yeah.
They'd be
Even if
like,
they wanted
I
to.
just want to see if y'all miss me real quick. You know, I just want to say, don't leave yet. You know what I'm saying? They want to make sure people still like fuck with
Want
them.
them,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Saying that they want them still around, and maybe that's why she's doing it.
I think she really wants to have a kid, though.
I think she's already
I believe
pregnant.
that.
I think she's already pregnant.
And she knows that she's going to
She'll
take
be
some
back,
time off.
though.
But
Let me-
come on.
You think she's
Listen,
already pregnant?
She's not pregnant.
I think she's pregnant
She
already.
might be.
You think so?
But being a mother never stop anybody from doing shit
Just go
unless
be
you
a
choose
mom.
it to, unless you
True.
allow
Yeah.
it
True.
to.
True.
So she'll be back.
But that's
What you think she's going to name a kid? If it's a girl, you think she's going to name it Barbie?
Oh my gosh, this
I think she will.
But what if it's a boy?
It's Ken.
Barbo.
Ken?
It's Ken. Ken.
Barbo.
I think she's going to do it.
Barbosa.
Barbo.
Isn't her man's name Ken?
I don't know.
Kenny?
So Ken.
Ken, it is Ken.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Ken
right?
Jr.
Yeah,
There
Ken.
you go.
We are. Oh wait,
KJ.
but there's already. I was about to say there's
Wait,
already.
wait,
a
shit,
famous
hold on.
Ken.
Y'all not about
Ken
to tell
Griffey
me.
Jr.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, y'all not about his name is really Ken?
Yeah.
Yeah. Barbie
Yep.
and Ken.
But
Never mind. Never mind. I'm chilling.
oh man.
It's all a game.
Maybe that's why she created the Barbies, though.
So
I heard she was winning before she got famous.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Speculation.
I don't know. Doll toys, Ken, Bart, but
Yeah,
you know,
I don't know.
it's she will
KJ.
live her life.
I do have a question though.
Yeah.
I wanted to circle back to something. When you talked about like trying to be yourself and struggling with it, did you is there one particular moment, maybe from a family member, or even like associate that noticed something? What was the one moment for you where it was like, oh shit, wait, this is pretty cool, without the engagement, without anything else, like a personal engagement that you've had with someone?
Yeah, actually, my choreographer, her name is Danielle Polanco. She's she's a freaking icon in the industry. She's the girl from the Omarion video Touch.
Oh,
She's the one who's like popping her hips out.
With the curly hair.
With the
Yes.
Oh wow, you really know who she is.
The image is burned in my mind.
Yes. So she was like, I was in rehearsals with her for my first video, and we're just messing around in rehearsal, and I was just making her laugh because like that's one of my favorite things to do is to make people laugh. Like I just get a lot of enjoyment from being able to make people smile and laugh about random shit. But anyway, I was just being an idiot, and she's dying laughing. She just looked at me. She was like, "Bitch, why don't you ever do this on your Instagram?" She was like, "This is what people want to see." And I just remember being like, she would not relent about it. Like every single time, she's like, "I'm gonna need you to put your phone up. I'm gonna need for you to just have someone taping you doing this at all time." And I wasn't doing anything for nothing. I was just being an idiot. That's how my personality is. And I just realized I was like, yo, I really need to start letting people in on who I am. Because one thing that is very difficult for me is not really being myself, but doing this, having the phone up at all times to catch it.
Yeah.
So I've just been having to work with my team to just be more intentional about capturing just me being me, you know? But that was a turning point for me because I really realized like, wow, like people that I've looked up to really, they enjoy my personality for how I am too. They don't judge me and they're just like, this is why we love you, you know? This is what makes you reachable and relatable and authentic, and this is what makes Kim Kim. So you need to really show people that, because I guarantee you if enough people got to like relate to you and see you and how you really are, they're gonna love you.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Now, go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna just say I feel like right now is such a perfect time to do that as well, and I also partially, not even partially, I think Cardi B has really allowed for that to happen because prior to that, any woman that was a rapper or a singer, there had to be some sort of sex appeal, and they don't think that you can be funny and also be sexy to people, right?
Yeah.
But I think with her being herself and the videos she puts out and stuff like that has allowed for other women artists to also be silly and to be and to not have this like cool aura or sexy aura all the time.
Right, absolutely. And she's definitely somebody that I felt like, wow, that's a perfect example of someone who is just 100% themselves, no filter, and everyone's like, that's why I love her, because she's always keeping it real and shit. And like, I'm like, yes, exactly, you know? So, I mean, she says what everybody thinks, at least a lot of girls, not everyone, but, you know, a lot of people think. And so for me, I just like, I mean, I'm like, well, if she could do it, I could just be myself too.
Straight off the Grand Concourse.
Yeah, basically.
That's it. That's what I'm looking for.
Now, in you trying to just be yourself, right?
Yeah.
I feel like you have like this protective kind of shell over yourself.
Really?
Where, yeah,
Why
a
is it
little
because
bit.
my arms are crossed?
A little bit. 100%,
Sorry, I am
100%.
just.
No, that's not fine. I do want to know.
I just thought that was the swag, man.
No, I was just comfortable.
Word, yo.
Stop
No,
judging
I'm
me.
saying, she has a
I'm
real
not
bad
judging. I
shirt,
promise
she
I'm
all
not.
like-
I swear where I'm
She's
at.
like,
Yes.
you want me to get loose?
I'm
Y'all
not
should have
sure.
brought drinks
Bill.
then, okay? Oh well.
You know the vibes.
Why y'all so damn silly, man? I can't remember what I was saying. Oh, that's what I want to know.
Was that
protective shell.
Do you think, protective shell, thank you. Do you think that was taught to you? Do you think that's one of your protective characteristics?
A cultural thing?
Thank you. Or is it a cultural thing?
No,
As far
no.
as being guarded?
Yeah, no, not necessarily cultural. I think it's just like maybe being in the industry for so long.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, you got to be like this. You can't be like this. And don't be acting. Don't say this. And it's like, I think my brain is going all the time that my body just tightens up sometimes. And I'm not realizing what I'm giving off. But I'm also just like trying to, when you just have like a lot, this is going to sound nuts. Maybe I won't say this. No, I was going to say, I was like, when you have different voices in your head, that one's like.
Oh, yeah, this shit sounds nuts.
It does
When you
not.
hear the voices. No, I'm just kidding.
Look, listen.
It does not.
No.
No, that's because
when
you
you're
have them
having-
in your head, too.
Yeah.
That's
They
the
all
difference.
talk.
They all, I'm
sitting
speaking
next to
for
me in
them.
that case.
No, I get it. I get what she's saying. You have your self-doubt voice, your
Yes.
confident voice. Like, it's different. You're basically talking to yourself constantly, but it's like
Yeah.
different perspectives.
Yeah, you're just like, bitch, relax. And it's like, but I don't feel good. But no, just say what you're going to say.
That's
So
a
you're
lot
like
of.
having
I
those-
don't have those conversations. That's a lot of conversations.
Well,
She just-
because you're a man. No,
She-
just kidding.
Could be. She just had 5 different conversations in her head. She said,
Did you
"Bitch,
not
don't."
hear?
that's
She
normal.
says she's a cartoon.
I know.
I know.
Come on.
Duh, did you
I
not
talk to
catch on
myself
to
all
the
the
first
time.
part of this conversation?
All right, can you name all of the characters on your shirt right now?
No, but I'm not going to give you any doubts.
That would take forever.
Okay, listen, this is upside down. I can't really see everything.
I can't name them.
That one cartoon was garbage.
But I know.
The one cartoon, there's mad cartoons on her shirt.
Ow.
For the viewers, top left, that nigga with the surfboard.
Oh,
I fucking hated that cartoon, man.
what, Otto?
Yeah,
Rocket
man.
Power?
Yeah, man.
I honestly
Rocket
hated
Power.
the twins.
Rocket
Rocket Power.
That's the worst Nickelodeon cartoon ever.
I feel like the
I think,
twins were
yeah,
like.
that was one of
Phil
the
and Lil?
worst ones, but I
didn't
still
like-
like them.
Hold on, you didn't like
I've loved-
Rugrats?
No, I like Rugrats. I just didn't like Phil and Lil. Number one, I felt like
Well-
their hairlines and shit were crazy.
cartoon.
I know, but I mean, it's just a bad.
Bro, they're babies. Like,
He went mad hard.
they didn't have the shape up. Their
shape-
line was all the way back here.
missing
They had a
teeth,
little
like,
patch
it's-
of hair.
it's a-
Roll around in
it's-
a, in
This is
a
the most
diaper.
unrealistic conversation.
Yeah.
Yo, but Rugrats
not even gonna
was
front.
kind of low key. It was
You
kind
and
of a
Nas are
sad
kind of
show.
like Phil and Lil.
No, but Rugrats was kind of a sad show. Remember when Tommy's dad basically said at one episode he like hated his life?
Yo, man, that shit
Cool.
was deep.
Yeah.
Wow,
Well,
I don't remember that one. That's
Speculation is
very
with Rugrats.
depressing.
Yeah.
All the kids are dead.
What do you mean all the
Y'all
kids
never
are
heard
dead?
that?
No.
No.
Speculation is
Oh,
all the
theories,
kids were
cartoon
dead.
theories.
Who came up
And the
with
parents
this
were
theory?
grieving.
And the parents were what?
Grieving.
Yeah, that Tommy was actually like a stillborn or something like
Yeah.
that.
Guys, this
Yeah.
is just getting
Yo,
real
this-
dark.
yeah,
Who came
wait,
up-
what
wait,
is-
who came up?
Some theories, cartoon
First of all,
theories.
if he were stillborn, he wouldn't have had like a whole life in these seasons. Like, what is going on? That
But
doesn't even make any sense.
they
Who-
said that
don't know.
Angelica made them all up in her head or something like
Yeah.
that. These are some
I can believe
theories.
that. She
These are
was
some
crazy.
theories that
She was
people have.
crazy.
Like there's
She was
like
crazy.
there's
I
even
believe it.
theories
I believe
about Hey Arnold. Like
She's
even
nuts,
theories
and-
with that.
Do y'all remember Angelica in that show? She
Yes.
was nuts. I believe
No,
it.
she
did
needed
that
Xanax.
shit. She did that shit.
She
yeah.
needed Xanax.
She just
Yeah.
she represented all the crazy women in this world when we were little.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys,
yeah.
that's a lot of judgment about Angie.
Fam.
A lot of
He
judgment,
likes
man.
Angie.
I liked Angelica.
You talking about
Angie,
like
you know her
Luna-
on a first
Luna Vachon.
person base
Yeah. I talk to her all the time.
You see what I'm saying?
in his head.
He got voices
like-
just like me. No, just kidding.
You never heard of Luna Vachon?
No.
She used to roll with Bam Bam Bigelow.
Oh, yeah.
I love
He's
Luna
talking
Vachon.
wrestling.
Yo, don't ever wave me off like that.
I'm sorry, man.
Everybody talk that wrestling shit.
Oh my
know
gosh!
what?
All right, hold on. I want to steer.
No, go ahead.
I want to steer this conversation a little bit. I thought this was super important to talk about because we're kind of seeing it. I mean, it's always been around, and especially in Latin music, and we're seeing it a lot still. And it's
Yeah.
in the Black community, etc. Colorism,
Yeah.
especially in the Latin music scene. There's just always been an issue when it comes to colorism,
Yeah.
and that's not even the music scene. That's just everywhere.
That's
like
everywhere.
even
Yeah.
even in Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, there's a whole perception of if you're lighter, you're better.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they don't necessarily push some of the dark skinned artists. Like there's this artist out. I probably pronounced his name wrong. Is it Sech? It's like Sech.
Yeah,
Sech. He has one of the most popular
Sech.
Latin songs out right now. But if you notice, they've been pushing Rosalia. And Rosalia is not even Latin. She's from Spain. She's a Spaniard.
Yeah.
So we're starting to see a lot of these things, and I know, like I said, you're very big on unifying, and right now, like especially with that Latin music is being heavily pushed into the America. Like, what are your thoughts on that? And like, have you yourself encountered any sort of colorism things, whether it's someone commenting, saying like something about you or someone about someone else you know? Like, have you ever had to deal with that in this industry?
You know what's funny? I actually really haven't. Personally, I haven't on the color side of things, but I do see that a lot in my culture, a lot. I mean, and it's like that in almost every culture, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yep. Like my dad's a lot darker. My mom's like super light, and my dad's like super dark. And so I'm like somewhere in the middle. I'm like the coffee that they made. So, my dad, I actually experienced a lot of colorism as a child, but not in the music industry for myself. I see it play out a lot because I feel like in a lot of cultures they view being lighter as more beautiful and just more exotic or whatever, and I couldn't disagree more, because I don't think I've seen people who have as dark as night, and they have some of the most beautiful features I've ever seen in my life. And I have no problem going up to people and be like, damn, you beautiful, or you fine, your skin is gorgeous. And like for me, that's never been an issue. But I've experienced a lot of racism when I was a kid, to be honest.
Same. Mine's kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
My brother and I are darker. My dad's black, and then my mom's Puerto Rican, but she's kind of like, she's a little bit lighter than your complexion. And even growing up, they were like, oh, are those your adopted kids? Or like anytime I was next to another black woman, they would always say that that's my mom. My mom's like, excuse me, my mom is, she's from Brooklyn, Bedside, Puerto Rican. She's like,
that's my child.
That's my child. So it's interesting. I didn't know that your dad was darker. And that even adds like a layer of even like complexity.
Yeah.
Because it's like when people see you, they may not expect that, and that's just the unfortunate thing, that people don't expect someone's parents to be some different color or shade or anything like that, and they don't understand that like us Latin women, just the Latin community, we come in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
But it's just for some reason it doesn't process for people.
No, it doesn't. I'm like, well, what are we supposed to look like? Because we don't look the same. None of us. You could be Puerto Rican. Like, you really could
No,
be.
he's definitely Dominican. He'll be Dominican.
No, he's from the other side of
I have uncles and aunts darker than you
Tango Calderon
that are as black as night. And then I have uncles and aunts that have really light skin and blue eyes. So we are all, like, my grandfather had blue eyes, and he was lighter skin. And my dad is, like, a little bit darker than you. And I remember my dad always tells this story, like so I'm the youngest of four, and I'm the only girl and so my brother right before me, he's like the lightest one out of all of us, and he's got like hazel eyes, and he had like blondish curly hair when he was younger. So one time, I guess there had been like lots of kidnappings in our neighborhood in the Bronx, and they stopped my dad, thinking that he kidnapped my brother, and they didn't believe that was his son.
Crazy.
Oh man.
And he was like, he had to prove that was his child. And that's like so whack. Like how he, just because he looks different, because my mom's really light skinned, so you don't know what the other half looks like. What if he was adopted? He still would have been my dad's son.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But stuff like that we would go through, and it's unfortunate. Like, I remember like not getting invited to certain parties, because I went to school also with like lots of different cultured kids, but especially like some of the white kids that I would go to school, like I wouldn't get invited to certain things because I was Latina. And so the mothers, not necessarily the kids, would like be influencing those decisions. And my mom would get into lots of fights with parents. She'd be like, wait a second, so you invited everyone else but my daughter because she's Hispanic, and she would see the difference. I didn't really know. I would just feel like, dang, like, why didn't I get invited or something, Wow. And I didn't understand until I was older, but I would feel everything, and it would be really hurtful. And my mom would have to sit down and explain certain things to me, because she would be all the filtering for me. But so it's like unfortunate, because that kind of stuff trickles down through generation.
Yeah.
It's learned behavior at the end of the day,
So you have that. Did you ever have moments where you were told that you're not Latin enough, you're not Puerto Rican enough?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh. I feel like a lot of, I didn't really hang out with like the Latin crew, because you know how like in every school, whether you're in college or high school, it's like, oh, you got the Dominicans, you got the Puerto Ricans, you got the black crew, you got the mixed crew, you got the, you know, I wasn't really a part of any clique. Actually, a lot of my friends were black, to be honest, because I felt you stupid. No, it's true. I mean,
you're not even black.
But and then
Hold on, Kyle isn't black.
where are you from? Wait, who's?
What are you? What are you?
What are you?
You're a fraud.
You're a fraud.
You're really Dominican?
Huh?
He's earthy. He's earthy. He's soil and shit.
Soil? Oh, God. That does not sound good.
So horrible. I can't with you. No, but like I never really stuck to a crew because I never like the Spanish kids. Like unless you spoke Spanish, they weren't trying to claim you, and I was just like. No, I don't really care to be one. I was like, man. That's always kind of been my attitude. I'm like, well, not with you. All right.
Best shrug / sound effect. Like, whatever. Well, there we go.
Unique. Wait up.
Yo, for real. That's a whole mood right there. That's my childhood in a nutshell. Okay. Yeah, I just didn't really. I fit in wherever I fit in. I didn't hang out with just the Latin kids because they were like, oh, she white, you know. Or she this, or she that, and like I was like, well, I don't need that negative energy. I'm gonna go be friends with who I'm gonna be friends with, and I don't speak Spanish, so whatever, it's all cool. Like I did feel like actually working in the music industry has taught me that more than ever, is because, and my parents even say it to now that my parents are in the music industry, so I grew up in it because my dad. Started his own live production sound company.
Oh, shit.
And he's like the largest company on like the East Coast. Like, but he started it from nothing. My parents come from nothing.
Oh,
so
dope.
like everything that they have, they built themselves. And my mom was a singer. And so they understand the Latin industry so well. And they were, one of their fears with me going into this side of things was that they were like, they're not going to accept you. We know how they are. Like, and my parents, because, you know, as parents in general, like, you always take the hit for your kids. So if someone insults them, you feel like you're insulted. Like, don't talk about my kid like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, I would, like, when I had, like, one of my first videos, when I did the song with Como, people thought that I was trying to be like Shakira. And I was like, no, first of all, Shakira's not the only person with curly hair in my culture. But I'll take the compliment. No, no, but I love her. Yeah, thank you. No, but my mom was like so affected by comments. And I was like, Mom, why are you tripping? First of all, like, I don't care. And she was like, but they're just not going to accept you. I was like, well, then let them say that until they can't say it anymore. And like, I kind of felt like, you know, I know that I'm going to go through a struggle. When you're the first or the second, or, you know, it takes a while to break through stuff like that, barriers like that. You know, it's not easy. And so I've experienced a lot of people having stuff to say, especially on the Latin side. People who didn't even want to represent me on teams or really, like, get what I was trying to do because they judged me silently.
Did it change a little bit? When you had Pitbull and Daddy Yankee that came were like, no, she's dope. I want to work with her. Did it change a little bit after that? Like, it got a little bit better?
You know what? That's a good question. Yes, I think in some aspects it did. Because people, I think, started just to fall in love with me and my talents and what I had to offer. And then there's some people who will always still hate no matter what you do. It don't matter if you have God himself on the track. Like, they will always find a reason.
Jam,
I know. Come on, God. Let's rock this. I'm going to come in like a mask. So, you know, it is what it is. But I think for some people, actually made them hate more.
Yeah.
Because I was able to go from 0 to 100 real quick, and they've never had those opportunities. And people are like, "Oh, how'd she get that? How'd she do that? Well, who'd she do to get that?" I didn't do nothing. You know, God opened the door, and so I'm just grateful, you know, for opportunities like that. So it happens on both sides.
Yeah.
Sometimes people hate more. Sometimes people are like, "Oh yeah, I would love to work with her. I see what she's doing out here," and I get it.
I completely understand. Like, I've grown up kind of in that limbo too, because like, I didn't grow up speaking Spanish, but my family, like, my mom can speak it. My grandma, everyone's fluent in it. Like, I understand it, and they would only speak it when I had like my friends around. They didn't want them, like, they don't want them to hear.
Exactly.
But then I would speak back in English, and everyone keeps asking me, can you speak it back? Can you speak back? I'm like, no. Like, I understand it, but like, I'm like, not all of us can speak it fluently. Like, I know a bit, but I know what they're saying.
Yeah.
And so, like, except for my situation, it was like I was not Latin enough for the Latin community. I wasn't, and sometimes I wasn't Black enough for the Black community, because there are things that I go through that like I can connect with other Black people, but then there's also other things that like I grew up with mostly my mom, my Latin side. Like, you know how like every Sunday morning you wake up, put on loud Latin music, you start cleaning and stuff, and instead of like branches, we had chanclas and like all that stuff. So it's like being in that limbo of like having an identity crisis. But I feel like, do you feel like having that sort of like identity turmoil in a sense when you were younger has ultimately made you better and has contributed to your craft in a better way?
Yeah, absolutely, because I think through every trial there's something beautiful that comes out of it, and for me, I've just gotten more comfortable in myself at the end of the day, owning it, because you know, now as time goes on, there's going to be more mixed kids than there are of one race. You know, everyone is like, you have a Greek girl with a Black guy, or like an Egyptian with like a Black guy, or a white girl and an Asian guy. Like, you just never know. Like, everybody is all. Why are you laughing at me?
Nah, because it was like, everybody's with a Black guy.
I said Asian at the end, okay?
Of course, she called herself. She was like, and
That's telling. I love me my chocolate brother.
I was about to say, she said she hung out with more Black people than
I know, but she was saying
people,
mixed
so I'm not-
kids. Always
every
say
Black
mixed
guy
with
felt like a
Black.
high five. Though.
I mean,
Well, let me be clear. I wasn't the only person. I was counting. I was like, that's one Black
We are
guy.
the foundation.
That's two. That's three. I was like,
she
all right.
saw Chris. She was like, an Asian guy.
actually, that did spark the idea. No, and so did my Greek girl in the corner over there. Nah, but for real.
And then
I'm
Chris
visual,
over there like,
okay?
I'm not
Don't-
Asian.
I'm from Jersey.
I'm from Jersey.
Yo, you stupid. I can't. No, but I mean, like, you know, I think it's hard to tell. I just think it's so ignorant to just think that just because someone looks a certain way, expect what they relate to. Because you don't know what their upbringing is, you know? For me, it's just like, we're such an ambiguous culture. I mean, people come to America and it's like, you're American? It's like going to London and being, you're from the UK, but you're Black, or you're from, I have Swedish friends, they're Egyptian actually, and they live in Sweden and they speak Swedish. Like, you can't tell by looking at people. And I think, like, because I went through so much of that growing up, now I just think it's ridiculous. And for me, I'm just like, it is what it is. Either you take me or you leave me. That's my thought process on it.
Do you ever go back in your head and play over like scenarios that have happened, and now that you're older, you can understand a little bit things better, and you look at things like, oh, that's really what happened. I completely missed that. You were racist. You fuck. Like,
Yes.
Right?
That was
Actually,
racist.
yes.
Yeah.
And because I wish, as a child, I was so non-confrontational. I was so scared of confrontation.
Why?
I would just, because I think I was also babied a lot. So I always had my brothers to kind of like
Protect
fight
you.
stuff for me. And my dad kind of, my dad was very much the kind of guy who was like, you're my princess. And, you know, if you have a problem, like, you tell me, and we'll take care of it. But if someone hits you, you hit them back, kind of thing. That's how my dad was. He's also from the street, so he's like, you don't let nobody hit you, because when you come home, you're going to get beat. And I was like, okay. So, like,
I got it.
No, but I remember one time, I was, like, at this camp, and this girl was like, this girl, like, hit me in the face with something. And I froze. I didn't know what to do, because I had never been in a physical confrontation with anyone. And I just remember, like, not knowing what to do. So when I came home, I told my parents. My mom was like, what? She was ready to go off. So she came with me to camp the following day. She was like, let me see this little girl. And she was ready.
And she walked up to
was
him.
like,
Let me tell you something, you little bitch.
Well, yes, basically.
Let me tell you something.
The hands.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And she would only pick on me, this girl. And I was like, why is she even talking? And she was like this tall girl. And I'm short. So I was like, you know, like, so I mean, I realized what it was later on, but I don't think my mom wanted to put that in my head of it always being about racism.
That was gonna be
you know
my
what
next
I'm saying?
question. That was gonna be my next question.
Yeah, because my parents, like, you know, I think because sometimes that's like the first thing people go to, and they they expect minorities to think, oh, you just think it's because everybody's against you and you're racist and blah, 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 or you think I'm racist or whatever. And I mean, I think at the end of the day, I've learned to decipher between certain situations, whether it's like, because she didn't put that in my head, it wasn't the first thing I went to as a child.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I'm kind of glad about that because it helped me decipher when someone is actually being racist versus when they're just being a terrible person. You know what I mean? And I think that's important to differentiate the difference between, you know, when someone is not being just cool.
Yeah. Now, do you still have those conversations with your parents now? Like, obviously you do, right? But I mean, more on the adult side of things. Like,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've had neighbors who were racist, and I'm like, well, you're straight out of luck because no one should have let the Puerto Ricans live here.
Hector LeBeau's going on.
But you can come to our
tonight.
party if you'd like. And my dad actually does that. Like, he used to invite our neighbors who were racist to our parties just to fuck with them.
That's a good man right there.
Yeah.
That sounds like
He'd be
a
like,
fucking
and
awesome party.
we would be throwing parties and like bumping and be like, yo, you should come through, have a drink with us. Just like, damn, why they gotta be nice too on top of it, you know? And they'd be confused as fuck. They'd be like,
word.
I don't know if I like them or hate them anymore.
Did your dad used to crank up the music even louder?
My dad's a
especially with
sound
family
guy.
gatherings?
Yeah.
My dad is a sound guy, and he's also, we call him the mayor. So like, he just makes friends with everybody, people in the city too. So like, you can't say shit, and so they can't do anything about it. He's like, well, I have a permit till 11 o'clock at night if I want to. So like, you know, he'll just find ways. My dad is like the king of, you can't tell him no.
Yeah.
He finds ways. That's why he's successful. That's what I believe.
Real
also
quick
Leo.
about albums, right? So I know that you did vocals on Christian albums. Do you ever think
Yeah.
about going back to do gospel music or anything like that? Because you seem very, very spiritual
Yeah.
and family. Is that something
Yeah.
where you look to go back to?
You know, that's a really good question. I was thinking about that this past week.
Oh, it's a sign.
I felt it.
You did?
I didn't, but let's go with it. I felt it.
I was like, you felt it?
I felt
I felt it. I thought you feeling it. You know, I'm not close to it.
Yeah.
I actually think that I do want to do a Christian album at some point. I don't.
Now, how do you think that would go over with your fans now? Because that's a whole,
You know-
that's a whole
I
nother
know.
world.
Kanye's about to pave
Listen.
the way, though.
Oh my
Oh my God, this
Here we
guy.
go.
I'm
Here
just
we-
saying.
This
Yo,
guy.
he will find
We're
a
about to make
I'm just
Christian
saying.
music, mainstream music,
Christian music
Hot
about to be
97. Give it to God.
Yo, gospel's about to be lit.
So, just to add some background, Wilson is like the most obsessed Kanye fan to a fault.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's true, but
we were talking about because Kanye bought.
Are you a Gemini? Because I feel like you are.
I'm a Leo.
Oh, hello.
Right.
So is Daddy,
Right.
and so is she.
She's like,
I get along with Leo.
Like,
but we
come
do-
on, ride
we'll
that
go
train,
Aries,
but
we
you
go
sure ride it.
head to head. But so we were talking about Kanye because he just bought a ranch in Wyoming, and we're joking saying, "Yo, that's about to be a cult."
Oh, yes.
This man said he's gonna join it, and I
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
I'm
even
in.
if that means, I was like, you're gonna join it, even if that means branding on your ass. Kanye's my daddy, and what'd you say?
Well, they already call him dad on Twitter. I don't see that. It's not a big stretch.
This is what we
Do you
deal
call
with.
Kim Mom?
Stretch.
I'm just curious.
Yes.
This is what we deal with.
Mommy.
Yeah, this is what we deal
Let me
with.
in, mommy.
this is what we deal with.
No, but I think gospel music is gonna be lit.
Well,
Gospel music has always
let
been
me
lit.
be- yeah, I was about to
let's
say,
give
telling
it a
you.
buck there.
I think-
It's
I mean,
always
It
been lit.
depends on who you ask.
yeah, I mean,
Yes.
there's-
Put it
Some
this
people
way:
are like, eh.
Kanye's never dropped the ball
I can't say that.
musically.
I don't
musically.
know if you could consider
Ye-
Kanye Christian music.
He's
though.
not Christian. You can't consider him Christian
It's
music.
not.
He
His
just
next-
started it
hold on,
this
but his
week.
next album's gospel.
Hold on.
Very
What is Jesus
cultish.
Walk? What is Jesus
It is
Walk?
very-
Just last week,
Jesus
he called
Walks
himself
is just
God.
Jesus
Like,
Walk.
Jesus Walks is
There's
one record.
that's not a
one
worship
record.
song.
Yeah, that's not like.
That's not a
and
worship
they, and they
record.
didn't play Jesus Walks in the club. So whatever.
and you ain't even
I was
buck.
definitely.
Well, they definitely
Hold on.
played Jesus
Maybe
Walk
when
in the
you're
club.
maybe when the lights
after
go
he
on
said it,
and
after
you're
he
walking
said it.
out, it's like Jesus.
Yeah.
With me, with
I
me,
definitely was
and
in
everyone's
Sue's
walking out.
Rendezvous, and they put on Jesus
The new
Walk.
album's
What-
called Jesus is King.
That's great. What I'm saying is that the only reason that they played that record is because he went on a whole PR run about, yo, they never played Jesus Walks in the
In
club,
Sue's?
and y'all gonna
In
remember
Sue's?
it because I'm the Messiah. Yes.
Oh, Lord,
yes,
he's doing the most.
Yes.
They-
yes.
they-
Listen,
played Jesus
Kanye,
Walk
you
in
need to have
Sue's.
several
And
seats.
I love Kanye, but I mean,
I love him too, but he going a little bad
But that's
shit.
what I'm saying. That's not
Jesus.
like we're not about to say
Jesus.
he's bringing gospel music back. We're
I
not
didn't
going to
say that.
negate Mary, fucking who else? Kurt Franklin. Who else? There's mad people. Huh?
Who's with Kanye right now?
That's my point.
Who's with him?
Kurt Franklin. Yeah.
Sounds about
Well,
right.
he got
Kirk Franklin is whose main guy?
Kanye.
for now.
For now.
Interesting.
In this time.
In this time where he
Yeah,
wants to
in
make
this time.
gospel music,
In this
he goes and grabs Kirk
Listen,
Franklin.
I'm all for you doing gospel music. The part that I have a problem with is you calling yourself the Messiah and trying to pretend that your music is about Jesus when it's really about you.
Yeah.
So I just don't. I don't know. That stuff don't feel right to me. But that's also my upbringing. I just don't. I think that's blasphemous. That's my opinion.
I do too, but only I'll be. How can I say this? No, I'll just say it. Fuck it. I'll wait. I'll wait until the album comes out before I judge. Before I judge, only just because I know people that have gone to the Sunday services and they're like, "Yo, it really was like a surreal healing experience. Like it wasn't what they thought they would go there and see like a merch table and like you know what I'm saying. Like the shit that you view." Outward looking in with Kanye. When anytime he drops an album, you see, oh, there's sneakers released and there's something. Whereas they went there and they were like, yo, it was actually really, really dope. Like I wasn't expecting that.
Right.
So I'm curious to see what the album sounds like. But even off of that, because I don't really want to talk about Kanye. I wanted to go back to you and your music.
I want to talk about Kanye.
Yeah. Well, we can get back to it. But I want to say or ask really, do you think that if you were to go back to doing Christian music, be it doing vocals or even your own project, do you think your fans would take to you now that you're kind of branded in this fun, bubbly, just kind of light?
The answer to that is no. And that the reason why I wouldn't just be doing it for them, that would have to be a decision that I have to do for myself and be okay with.
Passion project.
That would have to be something that doesn't affect whether or not, for my own feelings about it, is if people followed me or not on that one. That would just be my relationship with God situation. Gotcha. Because I think when you switch over extremely from something like what they call secular music or like hip hop and pop music to doing Christian music, like depending on what the content was prior, you're gonna have people who are like, oh, she,
Murder Maze.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. So I mean, I understand. Listen, at the end of the day, I believe God uses imperfect people in different ways.
I believe that too.
And I'm on my journey. I'm on my spiritual journey in general, like where I realize that I've made a lot of mistakes in life. I own them. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? But I pick myself up. I keep on going, and
Facts.
I continue to make decisions that I think are better for me in life because I learned from the past. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be held accountable for a lot of things I've done, and that's cool. And I will. You know what I mean? But at the same time, that's not gonna stop me from doing something that I want for myself.
Yeah.
That if I feel to do that, then I'm gonna do it. And whether fans follow me or not, that's on them if they want to or not. There's no judgment there. I still love them. It's just
That was gonna be my next question.
Yeah.
Do you diss them niggas? Like, yo, fuck y'all. You don't gotta support me.
Never.
I am joking.
If you do a Christian
To each his
album,
own.
nobody's not. They're not.
Wait, can you do a Christian? Wait, can you?
I'm gonna go worship Christ.
I was about to say, can you do that? Can you?
Can Christian rappers beef with one another? And if they do, how would that work?
They do.
They do.
How would that work?
I've seen the Christian battle circuit.
How does that work?
Wait, hold on. Wait, whoa,
Listen,
hold on.
that's battle rapping though. That's different.
Hold
How
on.
do they say?
Hold
They say
on.
I love me more
Hold
than
on.
you.
Like, how do they say that?
I'm the son of God, and and you wait.
Yeah.
What is what?
I'm gonna drop this Bible hammer on you. Like, how does that? Like, yeah.
That's how they do it.
66 scriptures for your head top. Like, how does that work? Like, how does that work? Like,
Yo,
I should battle, right? I
imagine-
would listen.
Yo, by the time I'm
you gonna
done.
catch these scriptures?
See that? That's why
I
we
wonder.
That's how they
Do
talk.
you think Drake could win one of those battles if he
I
did?
do.
If he
I do.
did like a freestyle Christian rap though, or you can't have anything dirty in it.
Let me be clear. I am a Drake fan. Right?
I like Drake. I love Drake.
I'm a Drake fan, and I think creatively, I really feel like Drake can do anything.
Yeah.
Like, even though people question his pen, people.
Jesus.
I want to see Drake, Kanye, and Jay-Z and Eminem have like a full out rap battle,
Rap
but only
battle.
Christian. Like they got to use Bible verses the whole time.
Those four can do
And
it.
it can't be dirty.
Those four
They could do it.
Hove's gonna
Off
win
their
that.
mouth.
You know what?
Remember, I just feel like see you coming back and forth.
What?
Y'all gonna call me crazy. I don't know if. All right, so what I've learned, right? Just check this out. Y'all know, battle rap world is way different from record exchange battle rap, right?
Yeah.
I think Hove is too cool to do what it would take to be the battle rap guy.
Well-
Like Hove isn't really think about it. Hove isn't really mate, and I love Hove. I love you. Hove is not.
I got mad person.
Yeah, I'm honest. I'm a Hove guy, but I'm saying this. Hove. So I learned this from like Surf and like all these battle rappers, right?
Yeah.
Even from Joe. Y'all remember Joe when Joe Budden, he did battle rap, and in that I learned so much about that, right? There is a method to even your hand gestures in battle rap. Hove is too cool for me. Hove never had good hand gestures.
Hove
He has some of the best hand gestures.
Hove does not. Hove does not.
Okay.
He
But,
didn't
Get
even
your
make
guns
diving
ready.
off
but
the yacht
a little
cool.
tidbit.
Come on.
All Hove does in his free time is sit around and watch YouTube battles.
I know he does.
He can battle rap.
I think he could.
Just
Hold
listen.
on.
I know a lot of people that again that arena is different. It is different.
If
It's
you
different.
consider
Hove is different.
Michael Jordan loves one-on-one basketball.
True.
He'll play anybody anytime.
True.
So if Hove is Michael Jordan, he'll battle anybody anytime.
I don't think that's the thing he's saying though. He's not saying that he won't
That's
battle.
not what
He's
I'm
just saying
No,
that.
you're saying that he doesn't have this. He has the style. He can adapt to that arena.
I feel like he would try to prove himself so hard on that one that he would make it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
I hear you. I
put his mind
could
to
be
it, it's a
wrong.
rap.
I could be
Yeah.
wrong. My only thing is, think about it. Hove is just cool as fuck. I'm not even gonna bring up the whole elevator shit that happened, but he was cool there.
Yeah, he was like,
like he cool.
his
Like
face
Hove,
is mad straight. He's like,
Hove
nah, bruh.
is you never. Have you ever think
Not
about it?
chewing it.
The only time I've seen Hove slightly mad is in that press conference that just happened where they were like, oh, well, what are you doing there? He was like, all right, do you know it? Do you know it? Do you know what we know what the issue is? Like that's the only time you've ever seen Hove mad.
But
you've never seen him animated.
But you're talking about a guy who would listen to a track, close his eyes, and then go in the booth and rap
that's
his verses.
amazing. I'm not taking that away from him. What I'm saying is, with battle rap, it's more than just lyrical ability. It's way more than that. It's showmanship.
I get it.
It's even gunplay. Hove don't talk gunplay. Like there's a lot of things.
Let's start from the beginning, guys.
Yeah, like, bad gunplay.
I mean, guys,
I'm talking
honestly,
about now. Hove ain't talking
Okay,
about
not
guns.
now.
He's
Not
talking
now.
about buying this wall right here. What you mean?
He said that's true.
Now
That's
this is the
true.
wall you want to buy. But I think, honestly, like, we keep talking about Hove, but the biggest thing is, can anyone imagine Eminem battle rapping?
I was going there next.
I think that's the most shocking part of it all. If he
I
has
was
to do
going
it.
there next.
I just kind
Marshall
of want
can
to
do it.
challenge them to see if they
Yeah,
can.
that
I
was
think,
my.
Hove will give it to him.
Kim named 4 people that
a battle
can
rap.
most definitely do it.
Hold on, what happened?
She named 4 people.
No,
that
I'm
can
not
actually
mad at
do
it. I'm just picking. Let me say something to the fans. 'Cause I know y'all start yelling and shit. This is only devil's advocate. This is for the show. We're just talking.
They'll be like, how dare you?
Yeah,
I hate you.
I will
God.
bet you any amount of money. Brandon doesn't know shit. Look up 1999 Streets is Watching.
Y'all are
And that album had mad bars of gunplay. Like, fam, relax. It's just for the show.
You know why I think Hove will give it to M?
Why?
Cool bars always win in a rap battle now.
You think he'd beat a mature rap?
Just the swag will kill him. He'll kill him.
And he throw in his Hove laugh in the middle of it. He'd be like,
Yeah, but there's
It'd be like Sirius Jones versus the Asian dude, Chris.
the one guy that is Asian in this room.
It was Sirius Jones versus Jin. And I didn't go to you out of race.
Yes, you do.
You look all the stuff up for us.
You would know,
Yeah. You search
The
all
most
stuff for
racist
us.
comment
You
of
couldn't
today.
ask any of us about Jin.
Chris searches everything on Google for
I
us.
feel
But
like,
he's
You see what I'm
like
saying?
Jin.
Yeah.
yo, moving forward.
What are you trying to say?
Moving
See,
forward.
y'all minds is in the gutters.
No, fuck that. Moving forward,
Wait a second, that's not a good. Bro.
Yo, moving forward, he now has Snapple fact racist statements. You know how, like, there's a Snapple fact of the day? We're adding that. We're adding that.
Chris is like, I'm from.
He knew
Worry,
the nerves.
Wilson, you're not racist.
All right, so Eminem.
She said Eminem.
All right, so
Hov,
Eminem, Hov,
Kanye.
Kanye.
Wait. I'm sorry. We always talk about hip hop, but I want to know, what about an R&B battle, like in Making the Band? Who you think?
Brandy. I love Brandy.
You said Brandy?
Brandy.
She said Brandy.
Tony Braxton. Are we trying to go old or new?
In an R&B battle? In an R&B battle.
I may go
An R&B
Faith.
battle.
I may go Faith.
Fantasia?
Faith Evans.
Jennifer Hudson?
I may go Faith.
96 Mariah Carey.
Oh, that high note, that freaking
Yeah.
that
she was
freaking
like,
note that only dogs can hear.
Yeah, she was like 98. She was rated like a 98 up there, 96, man.
Yeah.
Fantasia's dope. Tony
Fantasia,
Braxton is dope.
Yes.
Brandy
If somebody
is
ever
dope.
dissed you, like even if it was just on like social media, are you even gonna bother to respond?
You
Or?
going in the studio?
She's responding. She's responding.
Honestly, if,
Like even if they're just talking shit about you,
She's
would you even
responding.
bother?
honestly, it depends on which day you catch me. If I'm feeling a little bit aggy, I might be like, you know what, I'm gonna let it have it.
Hop on the live, get
Yeah.
them.
You know, how about this? Delete. No, I don't know. It depends. Sometimes I don't even bother with them. That's what they want. People like that just want the attention.
You don't never. I'll be bored in my house. Like I'll go through sometimes.
You start trolling?
What?
Oh my! Sometimes I gotta.
I feel like guys like trolling more than girls.
Yo, I have
Yo,
a
guys be like, I
ball.
just want.
I have a ball. While people are like,
I know a lot of guys
so
who like
ignorant,
trolling.
You piece of shit. And I just
No.
like, all right, let me pick apart. You spelled this
So-
wrong. That punctuation is wrong. Like I'm
Right,
that
you
guy.
don't know how to spell.
When we first started this podcast, we had so many people trying to say we're shit and etc. And we would purposely troll people because what people
That's
don't-
fine,
what
though.
people, but we also would do it strategically because the more they comment, the more it helps with our videos. So
Yes.
we would troll them
Cats
for the
out the
purpose of
bag
making it seem
now.
like we were
Yeah.
upset, but we weren't.
Edit point.
And literally, there was this one guy who kept like he was mad for no reason. I don't know if his girl cheated on him or something.
Yeah.
Mad for no reason.
Or maybe he's not getting any.
Could be that too. That'll make anybody
That'll make
frustrated.
somebody real angry.
Yeah.
Some people need
I
the
got
V&D.
tension.
But yeah, but Brandon are like some of the worst trollers. Like we nitpick at every single grammatical error. That's the thing with me. I majored in journalism. I'm gonna nitpick at every single word, sentence, proper use.
You're like,
Yeah.
you didn't use the semicolon right,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna go at it. But we do that on purpose because honestly,
fun,
like,
though.
it is fun. Sometimes it is fun to troll. Do you
Maria
ever
be
sometimes-
trolling.
You be trolling?
She be trolling for me. I'm like, ah, dang, I didn't even get
Wait, so
to
you
it
go
already.
for her?
She be like, well, honestly, if you knew how to say this,
You have
Wait a
no
second.
account?
Like-
What's the best thing you said as her? No, I go on my
on hers.
Oh, I thought you were on yours. Like, let me get my penmanship.
no,
but
Maria
that-
be going from
that's
her
a friend.
Instagram,
That's a
and she's
friend.
like, actually, you know, you're
That's
right.
a
Wait.
friend.
So what's like the worst thing you've ever like trolled someone?
Oh man, I just get mad when people come on and they like just like will rip something apart. I'm like, and then they come back and say, "Well, I only did it because I'm trying to help her." I'm like, then DM her,
Yeah.
like, DM her about it.
like-
If you care to help her, DM her and she'll answer. But no, sometimes I make her even like FaceTime these people. I'm like, we're gonna make these into fans today.
That's pretty dope.
She be trying
That's
to.
fire.
That's dope.
We
That's
need to put
dope.
that
That
in
is-
our
That's
arsenal.
an instant turnover.
That's another
Chris,
edit
write
point.
that down.
Write that down. It's another edit
Write
point.
that
Don't FaceTime
Hey, y'all do a lot. I just laugh.
That's why I keep her, guys.
I love it.
I have a ball.
That's
I
an
will.
instant turnover.
Listen. Number one. Again, all of my friends. Y'all know my friends are assholes.
Oh,
so
yes.
This is true.
But the best kind of assholes, though.
Yeah, the
the
best,
ones
the
that would
best.
ride or die for you,
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
would also make
I
fun
don't know.
of
Me
you
and
all
Nas had a
day.
pretty bad experience with your friends.
Because you weren't
Yeah.
invited to a party.
Nas had a great
Yes.
experience.
Relax.
Nas had a great experience.
Nas had a great experience.
Huh? Yeah, the fucking mute. That's your name
the
by
fucking
now.
mute?
By the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of his friends said that.
He was a mute. He was a mute the entire night.
He's
What
just
I-
shy.
like, yo, if I just meet somebody, right?
Shy.
No,
Do you
know
consider
what?
yourself an introvert? Because I feel like you do.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But
In what scenario,
if
though?
you invite me somewhere, right, and you say, "Yo, this is my homeboy. He has some
He
type
didn't
of
wanna embarrass
He
me,
has
man.
some type of stature. I'm gonna be quiet. I don't want to disrespect you. So I'm gonna be quiet because that's your friend.
That's-
so
that's-
I saw,
He
You know
told
what?
you that his friend had stature, so to shut up?
no. His friend has stature.
Okay, who cares?
Long story short, yeah, but that's what I said. But of course, that was the polite thing to do. But in my story, it didn't happen
Story I
like
wrote
that.
of my life.
Yeah, the story I write and when I posted, and he was a fucking mute the entire night. And I said that had he just been himself, I think it would have been much better because he is a likable guy.
You're just shy.
Yeah,
a
no,
little shy. You a
he's
little
not.
shy?
He's not
And
shy.
people?
He's not shy guy.
New people I just don't. I don't know you. So
At all.
What?
if I don't know you, I don't have nothing to
So you're
say.
shy.
No, like if I know you, I'm good.
He's
just
acting
let
a little
me
shy right
talk.
now.
He's a little
actually.
shy right now. I can tell.
She kind of put me on like one of the.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
His show- just-
He got quiet when we're like, oh, nasty Nas, and you were like, oh, he's like, oh no, let me give him my best behavior.
yeah. He's
I
nasty.
wasn't moving from you.
No.
Put your sunglasses on. He'll turn
Nasty
into a
mute.
completely different person.
Yeah, word.
Oh, at the end of the show, right?
Them sunglasses.
He's gonna be
come
like
on.
that kid
There you go.
in Big Daddy when he puts the sunglasses on. He's like, Julian, where are you? Julian?
I'm invisible. You can't
you.
see me.
Oh man.
I know those references. You could try me. I know those references.
Oh
He
yeah.
movie buff.
You
That's
see that
why.
confidence? Sneak it back in. Come on, put it back
Exactly.
in.
He's a Jason now.
The moment the glass
on.
Glasses went on.
His posture changed, and he sat back like, I can name anything, you know. I mean, it ain't like it's nothing, you know. As soon as the glasses came in, he sat right back up and said, yeah, but, you know, that's not me. That's not what I'm doing.
It's a real thing.
You gotta watch this guy, man. I'm telling you.
You take your eyes off this nigga? I don't trust this nigga.
Never, ever.
I don't trust me, so.
I know.
The shy ones you got to be careful for.
Well, you're a movie buff, and are you a show buff?
It depends. Netflix and I
Chill.
like Handmaid's Tale. That's much. That's
Handmaid's
Amazon
Tale.
Prime?
I just started watching it. I'm on season 1 and
What's that?
episode 4. Handmaid's Tale.
It's on
Handmaid's Tale.
Hulu. It's on Hulu.
Yeah.
Did you watch Big Little Liar?
No.
Lies.
Or
Big
Big
Little Lies.
Excuse me.
No.
I have to.
Wait, you've never seen
it? It has Nicole Kidman. It has Reese Witherspoon.
Witherspoon,
And then what's Shailene Woodley?
Yeah.
Shailene Woodley?
Shailene Woodley?
Something
Shailene
like that. I don't know, but it's really good.
Really? Okay.
It's
I'm always looking for
was,
new shows.
It was so good. It was supposed to be a
Meryl
limited
Streep.
series. It's supposed
Yeah.
to be just one season, one dropout, and it was so good that they made another one. Like they made
so
additional
dope.
stuff to it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, text that to me because I'm always looking for new shows. I also love Stranger Things. That's my shit.
Fire.
Yeah.
How amazing was this last season?
So good. See,
Listen.
the thing is, I can't do anything when I'm watching these shows because I just think about it all day
Yeah,
long. I'm like,
yeah.
I gotta get home. I gotta get home. I gotta get home.
No, I'm
like,
a
trying to
binger. As soon as
think.
it comes out, I'm locked and
It's
loaded.
so
Don't.
good.
Yeah.
Are you
like,
trying to act?
Yes.
You trying? That's the next step.
Yeah, papi. Oh, you know what?
Don't smile.
You know
too
what?
hard, Nas.
Listen.
He reminded me of one of those executives. Yo, yes.
Yo, they back on now.
Yo, it reminded me of one of those meetings that executives like, oh, you trying to act? Let me help you. You need some help, girl?
Let me
I got
be
help you
clear.
with
The
acting.
moment Nas gets
I'll
some
get
money,
you.
he is definitely gonna be the creep nigga behind the desk. Like, so what are you willing to do?
Yes. I'll be like, not you. No.
Yo, if you could jump in on the show right now, what would it be?
Good question.
If you could jump in
Good
on the
question.
show.
Oh man, I'm trying to think. I don't know. There's this. I think it's called Pen 15.
What's that?
Oh, it's basically a. You know what show I'm talking about? Is it Pen 15 or Pen 13? I don't remember. Pen 15. So like these two girls. It's actually the girls. Like it's based off of a real friendship, and they're playing themselves when they were like kids.
Okay.
Or teenagers, right? They were like 15 years old, and just like how awkward it was in the 90s, and like the weird part, like the weird things that they went through. Like there's a, it's so fucking weird, but it's hilarious to me because they have like braces and they're super awkward, but they're best friends, and they're like learning how to kiss on like the knob of their actual bed. She's like, no, you're supposed to do it like this, and it's just like super awkward, but it's a comedy. It's like I like that show.
Where is it at? Where's it on?
I think it's on
I got it
Hulu.
right here. Where is it?
I would do that show. Yeah, it's a comedy. It's really funny.
Hulu.
I don't think I'm explaining it right because y'all are looking at me crazy.
No.
But
When you
No, I'm rolling.
explain
I'm vested. I'm
everyone's-
vested.
everyone's
No, you have to look at the photos. When I looked at the photos, like they're literally like she has like a bowl cut and
like
stuff.
it's just like childhood in the 90s, and it's just so freaking hysterical.
Oh, if it's the 90s, I'm bought in. I'm
it's
I'm
so
bought
good.
in. I'm
It's
bought
so
in.
good.
You see yourself doing more like comedy or like
I
serious?
see. Yeah, I'm actually working on a show right now. But like, you guys are first. No, but I'm not acting. I'm trying there.
Not editing that word.
Stop there. How you gonna say that and then be like?
No, because I haven't ever told anyone this. I just like my immediate team. They know I'm writing one.
Well, this is our media team. So
Yeah.
And you're
So now that I'm officially a part of the team,
Your homegirl's like, yo.
she's like,
Ixnay on the show.
just kidding, guys. I'm making it up. It's a lie. No, but I mean, I really love comedies, and I thought I was like, well, I love acting. I actually tried out for Hustlers, the movie. So I was I got really close too because it was so cool that I did. I was playing the character that Cardi B got.
Oh,
so when
shit.
she got the character, I was like, I can't even be mad. 'cause
Yeah.
this
She's
is
like she knows
perfect
it for
for
real,
her.
for real.
Yeah. She's in them streets for real.
She knows
I know.
the real moves. I am.
She
I
probably
know.
gave him notes.
Plus,
Yeah.
my parents would have had a heart attack if I had to play a stripper and wear a thong, because they would have been like, "Oh my God!" You know. So I was like, God was like, stopping that. Anyway, so I was like, oh well. So like, I was trying out for a lot of movies recently.
You're stupid. Sorry.
Stopping that.
Stopping that. That's hilarious. Oh Holy shit. Yo, because I'm such a visual person, so I just imagine like this figure of God and just like a random hand like stopping that. Like, it's hilarious.
Oh, not that
Oh,
one.
that's like that show. What was it? God friendended me.
Yeah,
Have you seen that show?
I've seen
There's a show about God friending
friending
this
people,
guy, and he's like making him he's sending friend requests to him of people that need some sort of help in some way.
Yeah.
And he's like, guys, God is friending me, and everyone's like, yo, you crazy, you bugging. There ain't no such thing as that. But literally, God has a Facebook account. And it's Facebook. Yeah, it has to be Facebook, not even Twitter. Like I prefer Twitter, but Facebook and sending him friend requests of people that need help, and he doesn't understand. And then all of a sudden he changes, and he goes from being an atheist to like believing in God. And like he had a podcast. I say it was like a podcast that was like against God, and then all his fans were like, "You suck, you believe in God." And all he does is he accepts these friend requests from God, and it's helping people.
That's amazing. I have not heard of that one.
I don't know, but
It's a good
I feel
show.
like if God had a podcast, it'd be called like 10 Commandments or some shit. Like,
Probably it'd be a snooze
If
fest.
he did a
you
movie
think so?
called
If God had, let me be clear. God, he said that shit. Not me.
With all the knowledge that I
End
know,
that nigga, end him.
You think that podcast would be a snooze fest?
No.
He knows all the
Yo,
world,
word.
all
I
the
think
universe.
God would be
Yo.
the funniest person in this room.
I think so too.
Episode
I think so too.
12.
Say
He
God is a
gave you
comedian.
your humor.
God is a
okay?
comedian. That's true.
God has the
Yo,
best sense of humor
You know
ever.
what would be
Yeah,
the best
fact.
episode? Adam and Eve. That
would
should
be
be the
fire.
best episode. He'd be like, you know,
I was just
everyone-
watching
you know
a
how everyone
documentary
told,
on this.
You know how Eve went and told Adam to eat the apple? Yeah, that shit ain't right. And
See-
he's
see
like,
now-
and he's like, let me explain what really went down.
Yeah, you see, y'all just said God was spilling tea. That's different.
Yeah, but God's gonna go
If he's
through and
even out the
explain the
meanings of
events.
shit.
He's gonna be like, yo, you know what you read in the Bible? Yeah, that shit ain't right. Let me break it down for y'all.
God know, man, I just
said
picture
that
God
shit
telling
ain't
people-
Right.
Yeah.
That's a
Do
crazy
you,
line.
do you think God curses?
Yes, he made them up.
Yes.
He has
What if his curses?
I
what if his
don't know how
curses
to
are just-
answer that.
What if
He
his
has to.
curses are just like the light where it goes, oh? Every time he curses, just go, oh.
I'm trying to think what that would be
That,
like.
you
I'm
guys,
sure he's
you
got
guys,
his own bleepers.
It's probably like a cloud moves in with thunder. It's like, fuck.
You guys are terrible.
I don't think he's as judgmental as we think.
I don't think so either. I don't think so.
No.
Most- We'd all go to hell.
If
Well,
God-
we'll know once we
I
get to
don't
the
know.
gate.
That's terrifying. Anyway,
On a lighter note,
God's show on Netflix will be called "Spilled the Tree," okay? And it'll be all these apples falling from the tree.
Facts. That's fire.
Yeah, that's gonna turn into a
Guys,
Twitter
copyright.
account.
Don't
Yeah,
steal my idea,
yeah,
okay?
Yeah, that's fire. I like that. That's fire.
somebody out there right now is like,
Word. I'm typing all this shit.
I got
There probably is a God on Twitter.
There is.
Somebody's
There
God.
is though. I've
They have
seen a Jesus
they have-
Twitter.
they
Yeah,
have
they do.
everything. And I can't lie, it has some fire tweets. I
It's
can't
actually
lie.
Yeah.
really
Actually,
funny
it has some,
too.
it has some fire tweets.
I might follow him.
But we all have that one friend named Jesus
Yeah.
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Or Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
No,
I do know what
Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
A
listen.
friend named Jesus.
Let me be clear. Everyone knows a Jesus, a Martinez,
And an angel.
Jorge.
and an angel. Jorge.
Jorge. Yes, we all,
Yeah.
we all know Jorge.
You guys know Jose's?
I know Jose.
Yep, we
One of
know
my close
Jose's.
friends is Jose. His name's
I-
Jose.
I know, like
Jose,
17
Jose
Jose's.
Eusebio is his name.
What?
That's real Spanish shit. Jose Eusebio.
Eusebio.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very
Yeah.
that's intense.
It's my fucking guy. Shout out to Jose.
Yes.
It's like 17 Jose.
What up, Jose?
I can't trust a nigga named Angel though.
Yeah.
Is he in an
Wow, my uncle's name is Angel.
Oh shit. Get him. Get him.
Oh,
Get him.
shit.
Get him.
Puerto Rican's name Angel.
Well, is that God trustable?
Puerto Rican's name
Listen,
Angel?
I was like, trusting a nigga named Lamont.
You may think Angel Puerto Rican is bad, but it's good for my family because when shit goes down, guess who I call?
See?
Angel.
Angel.
Hold on.
Yeah, see? The
Hold on,
nigga's
time
doing
out.
dirt.
Hold on, what kind of business is Angel is he handling?
Puerto Rican business.
He's hurting people.
It's called machete business.
AKA, you about to get
I
sliced
don't think
and
he's an
diced.
angel.
No,
He's got a corona in one hand.
And a blade in another.
Nothing's gonna. Listen, my family knew all of the policemen in the area in Brooklyn and Far Rockaway. So if shit went down and police went to my family's house, they would always ask the other person, "What did you do?" Because my family would only react if you do something.
Yeah.
So, for example, this neighbor let their dog out on my mom, thinking it was my aunt, because my aunt, who's the oldest, she used to beat girls up all the time. They were bad. And
We'll just skip over that.
And she's reformed now. But they let the dog out, and so my
Y'all killed the
uncles,
dog?
my uncles confronted them.
Oh, wait, they confronted the
In what
dog?
way?
With a bat.
With fists?
They confronted them.
That and a machete, of course.
No, they didn't kill anyone, but they
With
did
vengeance?
confront them in a very Puerto Rican way. I'm sure you understand. That's all I will say.
Somebody got
In a very Puerto Rican way, they confronted them.
outside. Yo, what are you doing in my car? Yo, that's your dog?
with a gun to the head, like this your mother? Is this your mother? I said, is this your dog? I will end this nigga right now. Say something.
Joe, I got it.
Now, but that's the one thing that I love, especially like I'm not sure if it's with every family, but that's the one thing I love about Latin families that are super close. Like, if shit goes down, the whole family gets involved.
Yes.
Whole fucking family rolls up like Marvel's Avengers and says, "Who do we need to fuck up today?"
Yeah.
Come in like Captain
Puerto
Planet.
Ricans, assemble.
Puerto Ricans.
He said Puerto Ricans assemble.
Yo, but facts would be like that. Even like your third cousin will be showing up and shit.
Yeah.
It's so true. Because one time I got into a dispute, and I called
love the
my
word
mom.
dispute.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep it classy
You
right
trying to be
now.
reformed?
I was like, well, one time I got into this dispute, okay? And anyway, no, I think I called my mom and my, I don't remember if it was my mom or my brother first. My brother was all the way, like over an hour away. He got there in half hour, not even 20 minutes. Like he drove so fast. He came in, he had his jacket on, ready to go. I was like, damn, I wasn't ready for all that. Like,
I just want you to come and talk to him, man.
no, he was ready to fight.
Communicate.
Yo, that's the problem. They're a little hot-headed. That's you know.
But I feel like
0 to 100 when you take them there.
there's something so special, and it's not even just Latin side. There's something special about Black families and Latin families. When shit goes down, they just magically bring up superhuman powers.
Yes.
And you're just like, where the fuck did this come from?
Well, it's also because we only count on us when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like all we have is us growing up in urban America and just in life.
Yeah.
Especially in this day and age, I've seen more unity than ever when it comes from minorities.
We got some mean streaks too, though, man.
We do,
Yeah.
of
Yes,
course.
We wait for
do.
those moments.
Yeah, we do. Oh yeah.
It's like everything that's
Second they
pent
show
up inside of us,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
release in
Yeah.
that moment.
Yeah, we're there.
We're like, remember that
100%.
time?
Yeah, don't really got nothing to do with you.
Listen, let me be clear. Everyone in this room has that one cousin that is waiting to set it off for no reason.
I don't.
I have a little cousin
I
just
don't
like that.
have
She's
him
like, why
anymore.
everybody always trying to mess
See what
with
I'm
me,
saying?
trying to ruin
Yeah.
my mood and stuff.
Yeah.
She's always ready to fight.
Yes,
And her
yes.
brother's like,
See,
no,
yeah, I got
my
that.
sister. She's
Yeah.
just always ready to go.
That's a mood.
I no
Everything's
longer have that
problem.
family.
Always in that mood.
Yeah, nah.
See?
It's always one.
My cousin, he was in that
always
mood.
one.
And now he has to take a time out for 19 years.
Oh no! This just
Well, he
went
was
really
ready.
sad.
He was
actually
ready.
got
Yeah, guys.
He was ready.
He was ready.
Yeah, anytime you deal with someone that's like, yo, I'm gonna fuck you up and then I'm going to jail directly after this and I'm fine with it. You shouldn't play with them
Never.
at all. Like,
No.
those the type of people, it's like, hey, fam, you know what, you got it.
Especially if they're calm about it.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
no.
the one thing I've told
I'm cool.
people before, because we always, I mean, I always joke about my Puerto Rican fireness because I mean it's a stereotype, but it's also partially true. No, it's not partial. It is true. And so I always joke because I'm like, you don't have to. When it comes to Latin women, don't be afraid when we're loud in your face.
Yeah.
Be afraid when we're so calm that we're still cooking and we're still doing what we need to do. And you're just
true,
like,
'cause
you're
we're
like,
like-
just
That's the
wait,
scariest
just
moment.
wait, because they'll be like, listen, you got to go to sleep sometime.
Yeah,
That's the scariest
and I
one.
don't.
Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy.
And you're like,
Just go to sleep.
Nigga, Eddie Murphy
so
slapped
she
us.
starts making you dinner and she puts like melatonin in your beans.
Yeah, man.
She's like, here's some
You
dinner.
hit her and said, "Oh, I
You're
deserve
hungry,
that."
right?
That's
You're right. I deserve that.
Hey
Why don't
Chris,
you
that's
just
hey Chris,
go to
that, the
sleep.
melatonin in the bean. That's another
Thinking of
edit
giving
point.
you an
We can't-
oil massage. Wait a second. Whoa, yeah.
Melatonin and
That
beans.
was quick, too.
Hey, check this out. I'm
About 20 melatonin.
I'm holding it down for the men in the room. I will be editing that point out. Let me be clear. No.
Hold on, what is
At least it's
melatonin?
organic.
Man, makes you go to sleep.
Melatonin
I
makes
just
you
knew
go
it
to
was
sleep.
bad.
It's a natural. No, it's not bad. It's a natural
natural sleep
substance
aid.
that helps you go to sleep.
It's a sleep aid.
How's that not bad?
Because if you hit her and she puts that in
She
your
puts
beans,
a whole thing of melatonin. First of all, you
Yeah, that
should
shit
only have a
sounds
certain amount. It's like
horrifying.
maybe 5 milligrams you should have. She put the whole bottle in.
Yeah,
My dude.
that's
Well,
crazy.
they're putting you to sleep for a
Going
reason.
9-9.
Yeah, they putting you to permanent sleep. Yeah, you gonna sleep. Yeah,
So you
6
see-
feet under sleep.
You see your girl standing over you. Good night.
Yeah, that's some scary shit. I ain't gonna lie. That shit just made me scared. Can we end the show?
Wait. Before we end,
I'm
though,
joking.
we have to ask.
Good night.
You gave us a little tidbit of the show. I know you can't talk about it, but you're definitely going to talk about it after the cameras are done.
Word.
But we want to know, what do you have coming up? We know you just recently came out with a song with Pitbull. I want you to talk about that. I also want to talk about anything else you got coming out.
Y'all so silly.
So I'm going to keep talking like that. No, yeah, so I have a new record out with Pitbull. It's called I, and it just dropped, like, what, a month ago? Yeah. Time flies by. I don't know. But yeah, you should go check it out on all my streaming platforms. See if y'all fuck with it.
We streamed it 10 times already. So
yeah, like 20,000 times. Great. Let's get it to 1 million.
I mean, didn't you already get 1 million?
I got 1 million overall. Yes, I did. I did. You're right. Look at talking about. Listen.
I see you, Wilson.
Let me find out you are all up in my Instagram. You've been stalking me for a long time. I knew it. No,
I'm a professional.
He said I'm a professional.
I am.
If only they knew.
That's so far from the truth. I think it's hilarious.
that was a good rebuttal, though.
I did my research.
Oh shit, that was funny. He said,
I do my research.
But did you see the confidence he said? He said, I'm a professional.
It's the same.
He had his peacock chest out and everything.
What are we doing?
But what else do you have going on?
Yeah, and then I'm going to be performing for ACL for Austin
dope.
City Limits in October, and then I have another show coming up, opening up for this Latin artist named Lali.
Okay.
If y'all know who she is, October 30th.
Dope.
So those are the 2 next shows I got coming up, and I'll let you guys know if there's more. But,
It'd be nice to get an invite, maybe.
I know.
well, that
She
was
knows
it.
that she
Would be nice.
I know.
Well, that was the invite.
Real funny to hear Brandon.
Nice to meet you. You're invited.
All right.
Yeah, Brandon. It would be nice to get an invite.
You guys are triggered. It wasn't my pool party. Let's let it go.
All of a sudden, these guys are at the concert. It's just him and Erin.
I know.
Oh, we put it in a group message.
Check the messages.
Brandon's gonna show up
you know
by
what's
himself
funny?
and be like, I thought they all got it.
Yeah, word. I got the invite. Sorry.
Hey, you know what's funny? We never blame Erin.
I know. It's
We always
never
look right
Erin.
at Brandon.
It's never
But you know
Erin.
what? You know why you don't blame me? Because I do be dropping stuff in the group text, and y'all don't answer shit.
I know.
Facts.
Erin's on point.
I'm tired of talking to
Be like,
myself.
you didn't tell us, and I'll be screenshotting every single text I sent. They're like, oh yeah, she did send it.
You know what? You can help me with this. You can help
Women,
me.
we pay attention.
I know. I be telling
Men
them.
are be like, you didn't tell me.
We need more women on our team.
No, hold on. We're gonna solve this right now.
Brandon, she was in the middle of telling us what's going on.
No.
Let's stay on track.
Kim, you've been in the music industry for God knows how long, right?
Yes.
Can you talk to just people in the room,
Don't let him butter you up.
not anyone in particular, about trying to bring a busload of people to an event? Can you tell people?
Wait. And not even that. They're all people who have dicks and just
Yes.
one vagina.
And there's-
Hold on.
Okay, wait.
Can we
wait,
be
time out.
specific about the event?
Even
We've already talked about it.
Events or even clubs, it's a no-no.
Thank you.
Listen, y'all ain't getting in together. They're
Thank
gonna look at
you.
you and be like, nah, bro, you need about one guy and about
Yes.
10 girls.
Yes.
Because literally,
Yes.
I have tried to bring busloads like an idiot, and I'm like, why did I even do this to
Yeah.
myself?
Kim,
Because guess
yeah.
what? You're gonna do one of 2 things. You're either going to leave with that group of people, or you're gonna dead 90%
Yep,
of them
yep.
and be like, well, sucks for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
I'm going inside. I'm gonna holler.
Kim, it was a house party.
It was not a house party. It was a
Whose
pool
house?
party.
Pool party, Joe Buttons.
It was a pool party.
Oh, that explains it.
And it was
Thank
only,
you. Thank you.
It was only
it's
2
not
dudes.
just-
Kim, that is not accurate. Number one, they're only accounting for them. They don't think about any of my other family members or friends or my brother that wanted to
or
go.
him.
Or me. So, of course, me trying to be an amazing friend, I say, hey, Joe, can I bring my friends?
Yeah.
He blasts me on Twitter and kills me, said, Brandon's trying to bring extra dicks to my party. And yeah, get him the fuck out of here. So he deaded my friends, and now I can't live it down. And
Absolutely
Erin
not.
came with me. They never blame Erin, so I have to live with it.
For the record,
I'm so sorry for
Thank
your loss.
you, thank
That's
you.
really hard.
For the
Thank you.
record, he gave no rebuttal on Twitter for us. He didn't
He
even
was
say,
like-
maybe you could reconsider.
He was just like, yes.
Yo, my mentions were in flames. I was like, at 500 people, Brandon, you're punk. Hey, Brandon, what's your problem? You shouldn't be around anymore. Like, I'm like, yo, this is cyberbullying at this point. Like, damn, it's
Like,
a
I
pool
feel
party.
attacked.
Yeah,
You
like.
could have just at regular Nas.
No, moving
at
forward, I
Wilson.
am. I'm snitching now. Let me be clear.
Anytime now, I am snitching. I'm pointing y'all out. I will not be held
This is
responsible.
him setting the record straight.
Yeah. Thank you, Kim, for explaining that to people.
I have a lady friend who has a pool party. I'm sure there'll be plenty
There you
opportunities
go.
for dicks
I'm pretty
to
sure
come.
All the sausages are allowed.
All the sausages are allowed.
Perfect.
Pretty sure Brandon will get that text.
Perfect.
Well,
Italian
well,
sausage, German
it depends what
white
friends. Depends what friends, because some friends in the entertainment industry, they sway with the wind. I don't know what day they on,
is true.
so I'm just gonna let you know.
Yeah.
If they on the sausage day, I'll let you know.
Ladies, throw a pool party. You'll be surprised it shows up.
Facts.
Regular Nas and Wilson. That's who's showing up.
And you won't even know it.
Good luck getting in.
Wilson ain't getting it.
You thought that was funny, Brandon?
I was joking. All right, let's end the show, man.
Well, she was
It's
in the
about
middle
to go
of
south.
saying what she has going on.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that. Second.
Yeah, I did. I finished
okay.
it.
Oh,
We're
did you?
just chatting it up. We're having a great time, guys.
Yeah, that's all we're doing.
I don't think I want to go home yet.
You see, they don't even know
edit
what you
points.
said,
Yeah.
and then they're mad about text. You didn't send a text. They don't pay attention.
Professionalism.
That's why we need another woman on the
It's
team.
No,
called
but-
mail.
Email me.
Wilson said no.
Women,
She was in the
please.
middle of saying what she was doing, and she had already said it.
he's a-
I
No,
know
he's
he
a
didn't want to get
professional.
left out of the concert.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm hired. Okay.
You're hired. It's a
He's too busy about the pool party that happened like 2 weeks ago.
Yo,
He's
like-
still like, I'm not invited.
You said 2 weeks ago like that shit was
Listen.
like 2 years.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
It was 2 weeks ago.
You see what I'm saying?
hurt.
It seemed like it was 2
You
years
see what I'm
ago.
saying?
I'm still hurt.
Yo.
All
We all
right,
grieve differently.
Listen,
We all grieve
Listen, we
differently.
gonna do.
I'm not liking these two industry people right here.
Industry,
Let's slap them. Kim is over here slapping.
Yo, moving forward.
By the way, Aaron was at the party.
Moving forward.
We're going to do a Mickey D's party. I'll invite you.
Moving forward, we
I better
can't
be
say
invited.
You're going to
anything
see you in the
about.
ball pit. Okay.
Yeah, moving forward, we can't say any words like invite, come, hang out, nothing of that.
Cool.
As soon as he said invite, Nas was like, I didn't get an invite. And I'm like, here we go. Here we go.
No, we're still salty.
Yeah, clearly.
Kim is
You know what's
definitely
funny?
laughing at our
But-
pain.
But you know
Niggas
what's
can't
funny?
get in.
I didn't even. I wasn't even expecting to go until it was brought up.
Thank you.
Y'all were
Joe
expecting to go.
Joe asked her and said, hey, are you going to come to the pool party? Thank you.
I wasn't even expecting to go.
And Brandon changed wardrobes 5 times there.
I did.
Goddamn Mr. Rogers over here.
Mr. Rogers.
This nigga's Mr. Rogers.
Literally, his photos. It's like we're gonna change our
like
sweaters
3 different
now.
outfits.
I want to thank you guys for joining
Brandon,
Grassroots Podcast.
Yo,
This has
Brandon
been
with 5
amazing.
different sausages there.
Please
Like,
subscribe, Grassroots Podcast on Instagram,
No,
Twitter,
it's not
Facebook,
over,
YouTube. Be sure to hit
Maybe
the
we need
notice.
a Mr. Rogers segment with Brandon where he can change
it
his
ain't over.
outfits and we can watch.
Word.
I know it's not over.
We need to
My
get a fish
neighbor.
tank and let him feed the fish.
Yo, after each wardrobe change, you could just gave me Nas one of your outfits. He would have slid right in. Nobody would have even noticed.
I mean, they don't know what he looks like, so I'm saying.
I mean, if you wear your hat low enough, they won't know.
Yeah.
And you had the
You're in the
Kango.
shadows.
You brought out the
You're fitting
Kango.
right in, Kim.
You brought out the Kango.
she's hired.
Great.
She's hired.
I don't know how
Hired,
this,
son.
again, gets on me.
Welcome to the family. My first day went amazing.
Yeah, Kim's over here playing both sides.
Yeah. I like where head's at. That's great. All right.
Keep it interesting.
This has been really cool, though.
Yeah, I had a great time.
You've made me a fan, Kim.
Thanks.
You've made me a fan.
Yeah, I actually
I
knew
think
about
she-
you before.
You did?
Because
Do tell. Oh
No. My friend, he
Anyway.
does work with Republic.
Yeah.
And I actually remember when they first signed you. He was telling me because my friend he's someone who kind of is in the scene, but like on the low, he's like he's the one who's like sits in the corner. So he told me about Jesse Reyes early. He told me about you early, and
Lou?
I actually was at Republic.
About Lou?
Yeah, Lou.
Willow.
Yeah. Lou's the guy who always texts me. He's like, "Yo, pay attention to this person. Yo, pay attention to this." I'm like,
love
"All right,
him.
bet."
Shout out
And
to
I-
Lou.
And Lou actually took me to
Shout out to Lou.
Republic, and we were
No,
there
Lou.
with Saint.
Yes.
We were there with Saint, and they were talking about signing you. So I actually knew about them signing you before. Yeah.
That's
dope.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah.
Those are my boys.
Look how
awesome.
things come
And
full
Lou just had a
circle.
new baby. Congrats to Lou.
Congrats, he got a little baby.
Congrats, Lou. Oh my
Yes, new
God.
baby.
You was daddy.
I don't know, Lou.
Congrats.
You a daddy. All right, I gotta go. Gotta go.
Wow. You're just like Kanye now.
Don't look. He's getting triggered. Look.
Well, that was a compliment.
It wasn't.
She's getting triggered.
All right.
Grassroots Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, hit the notification button, be notified for our latest to the greatest episodes. Want to thank Kim for coming on and being
Thank
super
you.
duper amazing.
We're definitely going to the party, the show, anything that she invites us to, that I'm not responsible for. And
You're all invited.
Let them know where they can find you on social media. Please.
Follow me on Instagram at Kim Viera, Kim V as Victor, IERA, because not everyone knows how to spell my name. So Kim Viera on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Check me out.
Fire.
Yes.
All right. I guess we can close. I don't really.
Wait, hold on. You keep forgetting this. Make sure you sign up for our newsletter too.
Shit, damn.
We may drop. You keep forgetting.
I know. I'm so sorry. I gotta incorporate.
Sign up for our newsletter. We're gonna start also dropping in whenever we have a music guest. We're gonna drop their music in there. We're gonna also drop some exclusive content and etc. If you want to know some extra stuff behind the scenes, all that amazing things, please sign up for our newsletter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my reinforcement because I fucked it up.
I thought you did good.
Thank you. I guess that's it. I'm Brandon Killabh Hall.
I'm Erin Ashley Simon.
I'm Tony Bag of Donuts.
And I'm Kim Viera.
I'm Wilson.
And we are done.
Grassroots.